Just like your business, the tree that loses its leaves in the fall is still a tree. Hey everybody, my name is Seth Kniep, Kniepin' It Real. I'm the leader of Just One Dime. I'm an Amazon e-commerce seller, brand builder, owner of multi-million-dollar companies, and I'm here to teach you everything we can about building a scalable business on Amazon. Today, I'm going to give you 4 steps to making $10,000 a day selling seasonal and year-round products. That $10,000 is not just a lofty random word. It actually works, and I'm gonna show you why. Because it's time to zig when everyone else zags. You've been told for years that you should never sell a seasonal product on Amazon. Well, today, I'm going to detonate that theory and blow it to the moon. A seasonal product is a product that only sells during certain seasons. You can leverage seasonal plus year-round products at the same time. Sometimes you can have a product that works both seasonally and year-round, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. First of all, let me define what exactly a seasonal product is. Back to school supplies, swimsuits, beach tents, snow blowers, flying kites, pumpkin flavored tea, Easter eggs, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer wrapping paper, and of course the occasional giant Halloween spider sold by none other than Home Depot. It's crazy, but if you just take a moment to notice, there are seasonal products everywhere in every single season. If you are not selling seasonal products right now, you might be missing out on a huge opportunity. I'm gonna show you how to evaluate if that works for you or doesn't. How do Christmas tree selling companies generate over $1 billion in the US every single year? In fact, if you sell a non-seasonal product and you're thinking, Seth, seasonal doesn't apply to me, there's a strong chance that you can build a seasonal version of it and double your annual cash flow. 4 steps to generating $10,000 a day selling seasonal and year-round products. You're gonna distinguish year-round from seasonal products. A year-round product is kind of like a perennial tree, such as a pine. It stays green all year, and it keeps making you green paper. A seasonal product is like a deciduous tree, such as an oak. So it sells strong while in season, but then it goes bleak during certain seasons, like during the wintertime. So a cosplay costume would be an example of a year-round product, whereas a Halloween costume is a seasonal product because it's connected to the season of Halloween. Dress slacks, those are year-round. The tweed jackets, those would be seasonal. Red lipstick, year-round. Nude lipstick, that's more seasonal, like springtime. Box cutters, year-round. Pumpkin cutters, more seasonal. Now there's 2 tools you can use to quickly determine if a product is seasonal or not. Now remember, you're not against seasonal products, you're open. You're just looking at the data so you can turn that into money. So I typed in pumpkin cutters on Google Trends, and you can see that it defaults to the past 12 months. That means it's showing you the interest in pumpkin cutters over the last 12 months online for any kind of Google searches, engagement, or shares. Now it defaults to 12 months. You could go to the past hour, but that would be kind of pointless. You could go to 4 hours of the past day. That's still too small of a sample. Remember that the bigger time period you use, the more effective the data, but keep in mind there is a reason to look at smaller pieces too. Let me just give you an example. Right here, it's pretty obvious as I move my cursor that from September the 30th to August 6th, there's a massive interest in pumpkin cutters. People are preparing for cutting those pumpkins so they can take the nice jack-o'-lantern and creep everybody out, especially the little kids giving out candy on their porch. But then you get to the month of December and all of a sudden it starts to drop. And then you get to January and no one's interested. And you have these really strange spikes. I'll be honest, when I first looked at this, I thought, what in the world are people searching pumpkin cutters in April for? Unless there's some weird Halloween season going on. I don't know about it during off seasons of the year. But then, check this out, it begins to pick up in August as it gets closer to the Halloween season. Now, if I want to change this, I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to go all the way down to the past 5 years. Now you can see a lot of data on pumpkin cutters, and you can see in every season, they spike in October. Look at this, boom, 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 and boom. But did you notice something? Notice how each tower gets smaller and smaller and smaller. See it right there? Each one is getting shorter. that's an indication that maybe pumpkin cutters are going out of style. Maybe there's a different alternative people are using for cutting pumpkins, or maybe jack-o'-lanterns are losing their interest. We don't know. But still, having looked at this, I realized that pumpkin cutters are definitely a very seasonal product. The other thing I'm looking for, if this graph was really steady, then that would indicate a very stable market. It's not like a bad thing to be an unstable market, but it's just very seasonal. If it was like this and this and this and this, but I couldn't see any pattern at all. In other words, sometimes it spikes in October, sometimes it spikes in December, sometimes it spikes in April and drops in May, and it's random, that is a sign of an unhealthy market. What it means is whatever's trending or what's happening in the economy is having a huge impact on how often people buy this product or at least have interest in it. So the key, if you're looking for a year-round product, you're gonna see that graph go like this. It's gonna go like this, but it's gonna consistently go up over time. That's the sign of a great product. Let me give you just one more example. You heard of them, fidget spinners. Fidget spinners were spiking for a very short time. I never bought a single one. And the reason for that is because I sensed it was gonna be a real strong interest and then boom, it drops off. It's not a trending product, it's a fad product. Google Trends, if you search it on here, it shows you the data that it spiked and then it disappeared. You want consistent growth over a long period of time for year-round, or you want to know when is the consistent season spike for seasonal. Let's look at another tool, which is called Kiba. Kiba is free. You can buy a paid version of it if you want. You just install it onto your browser and it'll integrate when you are on Amazon searching. And as you can see my screen here, I'm looking at the Hydro Flask water bottle. Now, all I do is scroll down to right here and you can see the Kiba data. Now, at first, this data is a little mind melting. The easiest way to understand it is you just unclick everything you don't need. So I'm gonna unclick Amazon, used, and sales rank. So now I'm just looking at new. New means it's showing you the lowest sales price for the product being sold by a third party or Amazon new. In other words, it doesn't matter if Amazon's selling it or some third-party seller, what is the lowest price? That's all I'm looking at right now. Right here, I can see the price, $44.95, $44.95, $44.95. From June all the way until August, it's consistent. It does some really weird drop. Maybe the owner's 2-year-old got over the computer. And then it keeps going, and then boom, it rises to 70 bucks all the way up to $141 because the demand apparently for the water bottle went up or they did some kind of promotion. And last time I checked, people's need for water does not change at all during the year, unless it's the summertime. So this is really weird. Chances are they were doing some kind of test, but you can see right here that this water bottle is very consistent in its price. That tells me it's not very seasonal. We saw the pumpkin cutters on Google Trends, very seasonal. Water bottle, not so much. In fact, I'm surprised actually to see that the price didn't change in the summer. I thought maybe they do some kind of seasonal promotion or something, but they didn't. It's very simple. Because I know what Google Trends tells me, now Kiba is making more sense. But what I like is there's a consistent price. In other words, the price doesn't waver a lot, it just seems to go up in October. Pro tip, consistent price history means you have a stable product with strong year-round potential. If you see the price tends to stay the same, that indicates strong year-round market, and Kiba shows you exactly how to do that. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna click is sales rank. Check this out. Clicked on sales rank. This shows you the BSR, which stands for best seller rank for the parent listing. Now the takeaway from this is I can look at the demand. This tells me how well it's selling. Watch, as I move over this, you can see sales rank is 5, sales rank is 14, sales rank is 23, sales rank is 34, sales rank goes down to 4. That's insane. 4. Out of all of the products in this category, they are number 4. There are only 3 products selling faster than theirs. And what is fascinating is water bottles are not only considered by most Amazon sellers to be a saturated product, but the average price of this thing is up to $44, $45. And most of them are 13 to 18. Why? Because they built a brand. The opportunity for building a unique brand out of an everyday product is massive. So the BSR is telling me it's selling really well year-round. If you go right here, you can see it slows down a little bit in July. Isn't that weird? You would think it would sell faster in July. And then obviously, and I expected this one, when you get to September, towards the end of the year months, the BSR gets higher, it sells a little bit slower because people tend not to think about water bottles as much in the fall and the winter as they do in the summer. Now let's go look at the rating. I'm gonna click on the rating down here. See this button right here at the bottom? And I'm still looking over the last 90 days, and I'm gonna change this to a year because I wanna see how's it doing with its reviews. Rating tells you how many stars it has. Watch this. I'm just gonna scroll, 4.3, 4.3, 4.3. It's consistently 4.3 stars. It spikes every now and then right here in July and August, it went up to a 4.4. The consistency of this star rating is a strong indicator, not only that this seller did an outstanding job building the product and the brand, but that the seasons have little influence on the reviews. Why does this matter? Because the most highly seasonable products are the most susceptible to low star reviews during their peak season. So using Google Trends and using Kiba, you can quickly determine if a product is highly seasonal, like the pumpkin cutters, or if it's a year-round product, like the water bottle. Two tools. There's Google Trends and there's Kiba. Between these two tools, you can get a ton of data on this. What Google Trends does is it shows you online interest in the product. How much are people searching for it? Whereas Kiba shows you buyer data, how interested the shoppers are in the product you're considering selling. While Google's looking at the searches, Kiba's looking at where the money transactions are happening. Build year-round and seasonal versions from your product. Not only will you distinguish year-round from seasonal products, first you distinguish, now I'm gonna show you how to build a product both seasonally and year-round. Here's the key thing. No matter what season your business is in, you still have a business, and that business needs food. Some people will call it cash flow. Well, why not monetize the product you built from every possible angle? So now I'm gonna give you 3 tips for building a year-round and seasonal version of your product. Tip number 1, create a toy version of your product. I love this because it's so simple. Gloves sell on Amazon, so do toy gloves. Tools sell on Amazon, so do tool kits for kids. Clothing sells on Amazon, so does dress-up clothing. Dishware sells on Amazon, so does play kitchenware. Houses sell on Amazon, actual houses now, well, so do toy houses. If the demand is there, you already have a built-in seasonal version of your product every 4th quarter. Some of our students have tripled their annual revenue using this strategy. And the cool thing is you already have the design. You already have the marketing engine. The only differences are 2. Number 1, you're reaching a different kind of customer. And number 2, you need to make sure there is a demand for this toy. What's amazing about this approach is it reduces a lot of time and cost because you already have a supplier who could probably make the product for you depending on the material. It's just gonna be smaller and cheaper. And if that doesn't work, you can just use Guru's shrink gun. Tip number 2, create a festival party version of your product. Kind of like ripe apples from Johnny Appleseed's tree. This requires imagination, but it requires foresight and intuition to extract an idea from what you have and turn it into something you do not have. Let me give you an example. If I'm trying to make my candle seasonal, how do I know what seasonal version of that candle is to create? Well, you need to look at your product. What? Yeah, look at your product. I look at it all the time, Seth. I've been researching for years. What are you talking about? You still need to look at your product. Okay, explain what you're talking about. Sometimes you see a product so much that you stop seeing it. You need to look at it from a different perspective. Here's a simple question to prod that imagination. What version of this would your shoppers use during Christmas? Aha. How about one with a red ribbon? If you simply add a ribbon, you're telling me this thing's gonna sell better? Well, seasonally, absolutely. But a red ribbon, it's so cheap. Exactly, but because it looks nice, I can get someone to tie a better bow for me. But because it looks nice and pretty, what about a candle with the smell of cinnamon sticks, mulled wine? You see what you just did? You applied seasonal details to your product. Even a picture of that candle with a ribbon on it will affect its conversion. Now, to build year-round and seasonal versions for one product, you're gonna create a toy version, you're gonna create a festival party version, and number 3 is you're gonna find year-round and seasonal keywords being searched together. So let's just say you're selling costumes for cosplay. And you go over here to merchantwords.com, as you can see on my computer, and you type in snowman costume. Now watch what happens here. As I type this in, look. Snowman Costume is getting 98,600 searches a month. So if you're already producing costumes and all you're doing is producing a snowman costume, I can almost guarantee you your supplier will have no problem producing this version of your product. You just created a seasonal version of that product, and as you can see from global search volume, the demand is strong. Let me show you another tip for doing this. You want to drop the same word into Keyword Tool Dominator. So snowman costume. It's going to begin searching. What it's doing is it's pulling up all of the types of terms with those two words in it on Amazon. So if someone searched these different words, you can see these are the ones that were searched. And you can see it's got 42 keywords to find. So check this out. You got evil snowman costume, newborn snowman costume, Olaf snowman costume, riding snowman costume adult, snowman costume baby, snowman costume dog, snowman costume girl, snowman costume inflatable, kids, sexy, women, costume, blow up costume, pet costume tutu, plus size snowman costume, piggyback snowman costume accessories. What started with just cosplay costume is now an open door to a fortune on Amazon. You can apply this approach to almost any product. Tip number 4. You're gonna run PPC year-round on the perennial items. So you say, well, Seth, I'm already selling a candle. How do I know what the other seasonal versions are? What I love about this approach is it will give you keywords that people are searching that no one is selling. This will generate keywords that give you a huge edge on the competition. For example, you are selling socks, but you notice in the wintertime, a lot of people want wool socks or extra thick socks or socks with Christmas designs on them. See what I just did there? The keywords from PPC told me what kind of socks they want during the wintertime. So not only do I have my regular socks selling year-round, the perennial, I'm also coming out with special editions for the last quarter and making a lot of extra money as a result. You are literally building products that your customers are asking you for. It's almost like someone knocked on your door and said, winter socks, please. Oh, no problem, let me make them for you. Now, the way you do this is I'm assuming you're already running PPC. If you're just one member, you get massive training on this already. And you have data that's telling you exactly what people are looking for already. You're using the PPC data to promote your product. The PPC data is gonna tell you if there is strong demand for the product. A couple things to keep in mind. First of all, impressions. Anything over 1,000 impressions over a 10-day period is very strong search volume. Click-through rate. If you have a minimum of 0.25% click-through rate, that is also strong. So if you have these two metrics, your impressions and your click-through rate, you know there's demand for that, even if no one else is selling it. Because if you're running broad match on candle, and you notice the keyword keeps coming up, ribbon, Christmas, candle with ginger scent, all of a sudden now you realize you have a new product potential. Then you go to Amazon, you search that keyword, and no one's selling it, you just found a gold mine. Step number 3, maximize your year-round and seasonal cash flow. Launch seasonal products, year-round products, 3 months apart from each other. So you might launch a seasonal product in January, and then 3 months later, you're gonna do a year-round product. For example, you might launch red lipstick in January because red lipstick is always in style, but you launch nude lipstick in March because it's a spring color. This drops your capital temporarily in January, but by the time your sales are kicking in, you now can use those funds to launch your next style of lipstick in March. By alternating your cash flow, you generate a consistent cash flow that keeps powering your business like coal to a train engine. And when you space out the perennial and the deciduous launches, you escape the risk of running out of cash and you end up with year-round cash flow. Now, why is cash flow such a big deal? A lot of newbie entrepreneurs don't understand this part. It allows you to grow your business fast. It's food to your business. Pro tip, you can generate a huge extra chunk of cash just by exploiting the urgency toward the end of the season. When you launch a seasonal product and the season starts to get to the end, that's when you can generate a lot more cash. I have witnessed dozens of sellers missing this huge opportunity for another big chunk of your income. Here's how it works. Umbrella sales are gonna tank from late May towards the beginning of the summer. So what you do is you run a massive discount as the season speeds towards an end. As a result, you generate a lot more urgency because people realize, wait a minute, this is really low cost. I can buy it now for next year. And there are people looking for that opportunity. You can capitalize on that. Step number 4, strategize year-round seasonal inventory. Most Amazon sellers don't even think about inventory planning until it's too late. And there are 5 reasons you must know how to plan your inventory. I get it. You're excited. You got this new product. You're ready to make money. But you're not thinking, wait a minute, what happens when I run out of inventory? There's several reasons you've got to know how to do this. Number 1, you will retain your hard-earned keyword ranking. Second, you will block competitors from buying you out. It actually happens on Amazon. Number 3, you will capitalize on competitor stockouts, which is a huge benefit for you. Next, you will have a steady cash flow, which means your business can be scalable. Now, I'm gonna give you a few tips on how to apply this 4th step. First of all, launch seasonal products 30 days before their peak season. This will help you to avoid 2 big mistakes a lot of Amazon sellers make, because what happens is they're launching a seasonal product right when the season begins, but by the time their listing is ranking for its top search keywords, the season is about to end. So you gotta do it in advance so that by the time your product is ranking really well, that's the middle of the peak season, and that's where you get the most sales and make the most money. The other mistake this will help you to avoid is you won't have a one-pronged launch strategy. You see, the problem with a one-pronged launch strategy is you're putting everything on one prong. You need a multiple pronged strategy for launching your product. Look at it this way. If you went into battle against a powerful enemy, you would never just use one strategy. You would want multiple strategies. You're gonna hit them from all sides until they don't know what happened to them. So use a multi-pronged launch strategy in order to launch your product. Now, how do you do this? I'm gonna show you exactly how. First, when you launch your product, use a combination of things. You're gonna run Amazon PPC, plus Amazon's early reviews page, plus a gift in your package, plus a well-planned email sequence, plus Facebook ads to launch your product. Now you may be going, Seth, could you please explain all of these to me? Now each of those will be another video. If you're not familiar with all the steps, I want you to click below in the description of this video. Right there below, you see a link where we take you through 90 minutes of step-by-step training on exactly how to do this. By launching strong 30 days in advance, it gains you momentum for a healthy listing that is ranking and converting, so that by the time the peak sales hit, you sell really well. When you launch your year-round products, launch them in the other months. So you're alternating your launches. You get your seasonal products for 30 days in advance to the peak season, then the other months you launch your year-round products. If you launch men's swim trunks in May, then men year-round casual shorts in August, that's an example of alternating. Because instead of putting all your money into one launch, you're differentiating, you're spreading it around. It's like cow manure. When you stack it up, it makes things stink. But when you spread it around, it makes things grow. The key is to alternate. This gives you 3 months to build cash flow towards your next product. Now let me give you another point on this. You want to avoid going out of stock. First of all, when you launch your product, decide where you are going to rank. On the upper half of the first page, on the bottom half of the first page, on the top of the second page. If you follow our teaching, which you can find right here, just click that button. We show you exactly how to get your product ranking on the first page of search results. Decide, first of all, how many daily sales you need to rank to your desired spot. Now, assuming you want your product to rank on the upper half of the first page, which you should, you're gonna use software like Amazow or Helium 10 or Viral Launch to determine how many sales your top competitors who are ranking on the upper half of the first page of search results are getting daily. Let's just say it's 25 sales a day. That means you need 25 sales per day to rank at the same level, assuming you are in the same product category as your competitors. Next, you decide how long your inventory will last. You're gonna divide your goal for number of sales per day into the total number of units you are purchasing. Let's just say you're purchasing 2,000 units. Your product needs to sell 25 times a day to rank on the upper half of the first page of search results. So you're gonna do 2,000 divided by 25 equals 80 days of inventory. Right there. Decide your lead time for manufacturing a new batch of your product. This is the next step. So for example, let's say your manufacturing time, the time it takes to build your product, is 25 days. And the shipping time, because you're shipping it by sea, of course, is 30 days. You need also a contingency time of 5 days. Contingency just means in case there's an unexpected delay, such as a manufacturing error, or if customs decides to hold your product, or maybe Amazon is slow in getting the product ready in the fulfillment center because it's peak season. So when you add all those days up, you have a total lead time of 60 days. Now in this example, 20 days after your launch, your manufacturer needs to already be starting on your next batch. See how this planning works? Let's say your product is selling at $45 a pop, $45 a piece. Now 20 days of sales at 25 sales per day, because as we mentioned, you need 25 sales a day to rank where you want to rank. And if you're selling at $45 a piece, that's going to be $22,500 of revenue. Now let's say your product costs $15 a piece to manufacture. So to manufacture another batch of 2,000 units, you need 2,000 times 15, which equals $30,000. To get your next batch started, you only need to pay a down payment of 30%, which is standard, and 30% of 30,000 is 9,000. So you pay 9,000 just to get it started, and you still have $22,500 minus 9,000 of cash on hand, which is $13,500. That is a cash-rich business model. A lot of people have asked me, Seth, why do you teach this? Well, my long-term vision is a community of entrepreneurs around the world who are making a difference, who are living their dreams, who are giving back, who are making a ton of money, who have margin to do the things that they love with the people they love. It's the same spark that started in my heart when I was working for Apple, and I got so angry and so frustrated and so tired of corporatocracy. I wanted to do something different. And I knew there had to be a way, and I had to figure that out. And I know how difficult the path is. This allows people, it smooths that path and makes it possible so they actually can do something that means something to them, that matters. Let me just give you one example. Jacob, he joined Just One Dime so that he could work full-time. His dream always, and not full-time at a corporate office, but full-time helping orphanages in Papua New Guinea, where children there today are dying from hunger. He sells on Amazon in the evenings, and then he works all day helping children during the daytime. And this is an example of just one warrior who's able to take his work and turn it into something that matters to him. And what you see right here, these are examples of everyday sales of Just One Dime students. That's why we do what we do. And if you want 90 minutes, just like this is what you got today is a tiny little sample, 90 minutes of something like this. If you click the link below in the description, it'll take you to a page where you can get 90 minutes of step-by-step training to show you how to build a business so that you can actually have margin to do the things you love with the people you love. If you love this video, hit the subscribe button below. Don't hit it, smash the subscribe button below and comment and let me know what you thought. I'll see you next time.